weekday. We are here. You got a little treat of us talking, not realizing that we were live because I'm still trying to learn all of the fancy buttons on my computer here. And let me raise that up.
All your fancy buttons on your new old Dell.
On my new old Dell. That's a good idea. That's a good way of describing it. Anyway, Philip Marshall is here today, and I'm here today. And anyone who wants to join us is welcome to join us. And we're just talking about where we are right now. The Schumer shutdown, and where we are with that. The government is still shut down. We hope that it will get back to being open and doing what it's supposed to do, and not doing a lot of what it does that it should.
I think the shutdown is maybe we're at the halfway point. I think we got over 15 or 20 days without batting an eye at this. We're going to go into November without a doubt in my mind.
I think so.
And the Republicans have one thing to say: nope, clean resolution. That's the only thing we vote on. Period. And the other side can do all the dancing they want, but as long as we keep a clean shot, this is it. No rhetoric. There's nothing to talk about. It's not a distraction.
Yep.
The shutdown is a great distraction for the fake news, because they're not paying attention to a whole lot of things that are really good happening in the background. And as long as Trump doesn't have to deal with a whole bunch of trash in Washington, I think right now he is free to do the coup de grace in the world and start the Ukrainian-Russian war. I think that's the only focus of the administration right now. And I think he's got a 50-50 chance of doing that, which is an enormous plus. Because I don't think there was a 90-10 against it from day one.
No, I think Mr. Putin has made it clear that he wants to stop, but he wants things. And I think the things that he wants are not necessarily the things that you get. It's like he wants all of Ukraine's resources, and you don't get that. You know, we're trying to bring peace. We're not trying to start another war. The Israel-Hamas war, well, you know, there are reports that Hamas is shooting up Gaza and executing people and doing bad things, and I don't know how long that will continue. I think we made it clear that, you know, if you don't play ball our way, we're going to make you play ball our way.
Well, you know, they're shooting their own people up, so all they're doing now is painting themselves black.
Yep.
They're not hurting Israel by doing this. They're just making themselves look worse and worse, and that's fine. You know, and I hate to see, I would say innocent people die, but I don't think that most of that population is innocent. They've allowed this to go on. They allowed Hamas to be in control for all these years. They backed them. Changing your mind when you lose doesn't make it right. That they're just going to make themselves look bad, and that'll make it easier to get rid of that whole political system that they have there right now.
Yep, they did.
And they've got to go. I mean, you know, we denazified Germany by taking the Nazi and making them illegal.
Yep.
It took a while, but they had to become illegal. Hamas has to become illegal.
I think so. You know, I've heard reports that Gaza is going to be turned into a resort city, and that Jared Kushner is there, and he may be representing the Trump I can never say it, the Trump organization, and they may build a resort. But I think everybody's going to build a resort there.
Jared Kushner is representing the Saudis right now. Yep. He's got the Saudi sovereign wealth, put several $billions into Kushner's previously non-existent investment fund, and they did that shortly after Trump was out of office from 45,
Yep.
and that's a big. The Saudis and the Dubai's, they like these beautiful big cities that they have that they build over these fabulous structures.
Yep.
If it's going to be their money and they're going to have some control over the property, I'll bet they would just love to have a Mediterranean resort.
It's going to
And
be a big, beautiful city. It really is. And it's not a big, beautiful city now. It's just big.
but they're flattening it out. You
Yep.
got to level the ground before you can build a skyscraper.
I wonder if Hamas knew that and said, hey, we got to just destroy the city so that we can rebuild a big, beautiful city. I start wondering if all of this is just a game with all of them, that they just play this and they play this and they play this and they play this, because we're not losing anything here in the United States. It's not like Hamas is bombing the United States. It's not like Ukraine would ever declare war on the United States. It's not like Russia would ever declare war on the United States. I think, at least I want to hope that they don't. But
I think they work on the threat. The threat is there. That's about it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
the
threat is
mutual
there.
destruction. When you have the opportunity to lose everything, boy, unless you're playing a board game like Monopoly, you don't do that. You just don't risk it.
No, and Putin and Trump are rumored to play 5-level chess games, and in that 5-level chess game, you don't attack level 3 because you don't want to lose level 3. You need it for your 5 levels. So I don't know. I think we are moving to a new society here in the United States, which is not giving tax money to Congress and letting them do whatever they want to do with it. I think it's giving money coming in from tariffs, and they're going to pay everything. They're going to bring your healthcare costs down. They're going to bring your gas price down. They're going to bring your prices at the grocery stores down. And
well,
even if go ahead.
The gas is coming down now. I mean, oil actually broke under 57 a barrel for a short time the other day. And 60 was the benchmark. 60, they said for months. And if it broke under 60, it would be dangerous for the oil companies because then it could free fall. And now we've broken under 50, so we're staying in the 58 range. This is going to bring gas down very close to $2 a gallon by Christmas.
I don't think it's going to hurt oil companies if the price of gas comes down, because they will put more gas into society. They will sell all of that gas. I mean, maybe they won't, because some people want electric cars. But as a businessman, I honestly can't tell you the use of an electric car. We had a VIP client from a company in Woburn, Mass. He lived in Newark, New Jersey, and we sent an affiliate to pick him up. And every time they picked him up, they sent a Tesla. And he said to the driver, you have enough of a charge to get me to Boston, because I'm catching a plane at Logan Airport. I have to be able to get there. And they always said, yes, we do. Until the time he called me up and said, no, they didn't. 40 miles before Boston, they ran out. 40 miles before my house, they ran out. I don't want them anymore. I had to say, I wanted to send a car down to pick you up in the beginning and bring you, but that didn't seem to be what you wanted. So, I don't
Well, the
know.
oil companies are, Trump started the move of pushing Europe, and when he was 45, he started pushing them to taking our liquid gas, our propane, and stop buying it from Russia. And
Yep.
they gotten to the point now that their wind and their solar can't support them, and they figured that out. That's a bad move. So now the oil companies are selling them the gas. Um, LNG has always been a waste product. For years, it was a waste product at refineries. They burnt it off constantly. There was always there was always flamage at every
Well,
refinery at the oil field. They burned the gas. Now they're getting profit off it.
so in
Uh, it-
making gas, they ended up with, or refining oil, they ended up with LNG, and they didn't know what to do with it. They just burned it off.
uh, for the most part, if you went up in North Dakota several years ago, 15 years ago, I was there for 3 days. I will never go there in the winter again. Um, they couldn't pay me enough to work a refinery or anything up there in the cold. If you sneezed, everything froze in front of your face and hit the ground. Um, but you went around where all the wellheads were, it was actually warm because everything had huge flames. Now you're turning a byproduct into profit. It's much
Yeah.
easier to store the oil, and there's a lot of tankers that they can just put oil in till they bring it someplace. And the LNG is very profitable,
Well,
and
and
you can get the permits to build an LNG conversion uh, refinery and a port to put it on a ship, but you can't get the money to build a new refinery for regular oil.
but they're shutting down refineries in California for whatever reason. They're I don't know if they're shutting them down. They're just shutting down because they're saying they can't make any money. And
And they're shutting down because they can't get the permits to rehab them so that they run safely.
yeah,
If
you
you
know,
can't get past the environmentalists, you're in trouble. And you can get past the environmentalists in 48 other states. They have a lot of problems in Alaska
and
with
I'm
those.
not even saying get by the Environmental Protection Agency. At least operate your business in a safe way so that it doesn't go boom and take out half the city that you're in, or half the state wherever you're located. But let's use it. And in the case of California, let's bring the price down from $5 a gallon back to $3 a gallon, or $2 a gallon, if 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 you can. I personally am in a situation that I don't think oil companies have a right to be political. They just sell gas. If I don't want your gas, if I don't like your politics, I won't buy your gas. And you're going to have a glut of gas, and at some point you're going to have to sell it off. Uh, I just I just don't see it being a political thing, especially when God, and it's the same God for everybody, but God gave 1,000,000 years of oil to the United States of America, which is only 250 years old.
I mean, you and I are old enough to remember when gas stations used to give you a present when you came in to fill up.
Yeah,
They checked your oil, they washed your windshield, and they gave you a present. They gave you uh, glasses, they gave you stamps.
yeah,
They did things to encourage you to be a loyal customer.
yeah. And people were. I mean, I'm not as old as you. I know that. I'm only 63, but I remember at 17, I got my license finally because my parents had said we're going to do it on grades, and I got my grades up and I got it, and it was 75 cents a gallon, and then it went up the end of the week to $1 a gallon, and my father handed me a $20 bill or whatever and said, "This is to get you and your brothers to school every week." Anything else you need, you do to the car. I'll pay for repairs, but you're on your own for any other additional gas you need. And my brother and I pretty much took care of it. But
Yeah,
I
I remember
don't.
gas at 29 cents.
Yeah, 20, 20 cents a gallon. So if they made gas that 40 years ago they could sell gas for 20 cents a gallon, so double it, and it's 20
But
cents a gallon.
years ago, the gas station had mechanics, and they
Yeah,
made their money in the shop. And then the automobile manufacturers decided to make automobiles that they could not repair
right.
in a regular shop, and they took that whole piece of that business model away from the gas station. So they had to become convenience stores.
But that worked in some areas and didn't work in every area. But in most areas, that that seemed to work for them. That they were making more in the convenience of what you needed, and maybe selling you gas while you were there. And I know that's true. A friend of mine owned a gas station in Framingham, Massachusetts, and I think he said he was making 5 cents a gallon on every gallon of gas, but he was making a boku amount of money off the one mechanic who kept 3 bays busy.
Yeah.
So, but by the same token, I had a friend in Waltham who owned a a station that kept changing brands, but he he wiped out the garage because it wasn't very busy and put in a convenience store, and you got your gas, but you got the convenience of whatever else you needed. I mean, I used to
and
stop
and
there.
now you have convenience stores that are destinations. Have you
Yeah,
ever been to a Bucky's?
I haven't been, but I have heard about them, and at some point we will be. I think the nearest one to us is about 39 miles away, and we
We just
joke.
had one open up near Daytona, so it was about I'm going to say 25, 30 miles away. And I
Okay,
had never been to a Bucky's, so I made that trip, and that was our destination. It was fun. I'm
yeah.
going to tell you, it will absolutely amaze you.
The one
It
that
is an
comes,
amazing place
yeah,
to see. Never mind the fact that they've got hundreds of gas pumps and 50, 100
yeah,
stations for plugging in your car. If you've got an electric, it's amazing. They have a wall of beef jerky. They're
yeah.
making brisket in the middle of the store. Uh, it,
I think in Connecticut, not in Connecticut, in Georgia, when our youngest son, was stationed in Georgia with his family as well. There was a chain, Love's, and Love's was like you're saying, Bucky's was. They had everything you could think of, and even things you couldn't think of. And I got to imagine that they are making money hand over fist. Not as good as they were before, but nobody nobody seems to stay that way these days. But you know, this is ridiculous. I mean, why are eggs? I'm just pulling a number out of my head. $8 a dozen in one store, and you go to another one, and they're $4 a dozen. I mean, we just need to get ourselves together.
I
I
don't
mean,
know. We're blessed here at our house with eggs because our hens that we got this year have all started to lay now.
well, that's
So
the best.
it won't be long before we'll be giving eggs
Yeah,
away at church on Sunday.
yeah. I know other people that have done that too. We have a cousin that did the same thing, that gave eggs away, and then we had friends in Connecticut that did the same thing. They had so many eggs, they just give them away. And I'm
We
such
did it
a
in the past, and we'll do the same thing now. We'll give it away, and we'll tell the folks if you want to. Every now and then, if you like to buy a bag of feed, bring a bag of feed to church,
or
and we'll drop it in the back of the truck and bring it
right
home.
or
Because feed
barter.
used to be
You know,
$5 for a 25-pound bag, and
right,
now it's $30 for a 25-pound
yeah.
bag. But
But the idea of barter to me just blows me away. People could barter eggs for the feed for the chickens, or car washes for your car, your truck. Come on. I mean, there's so many ways that money stays in your wallet unless you have a
We're
use.
about to do a barter down here at the Salvation Army. We're going to be doing a silver bus with canned goods so that we have the extra stuff coming up for Thanksgiving and that to give away
Yeah.
to people that need it. And we've discussed having a car wash for canned goods. So there's a barter, no cash.
Yeah.
Bring us a bag full of canned goods. If we washed your car, you might give it for $5. That would be a deal, right? But if we trade your canned goods, you're probably going to bring us $10 or $12 worth of cans.
Probably. You're going to go to your neighbors and
It's going to work out really good on our side. The folks that come in are going to feel really good because they're contributing to something that's going to go down the line. And we'll collect a few thousand pounds of canned goods.
Yep.
And that, again, it's a barter thing.
I
When you trade like that, you feel better about a trade.
Yeah.
There's something feeling better about a trade than taking money out of your pocket.
Yeah. But I think we're going to see things go even further. I think the Federal Reserve Bank is going to get eliminated because I think President Trump has had enough, and he's just going to say to Jerome Powell one day, go away. We're paying you money that's interest for wars that, people that are alive today in 2025 weren't even alive during these wars. They don't want to pay that. I mean, not all of our $37 trillion debt is going to go away. Some of it I'm sure we actually owe. But, I think it's a new world that is coming to us. And I think Chuck Schumer and his Schumer shutdown is just in the way. I saw an interview yesterday. John Fetterman was this interview I saw yesterday with John Fetterman and not Andrew, the other Cuomo, along with Bill Riley and one other person I can't remember. They had a nice conversation, and Fetterman basically said, I agree with my party a lot of the time, but I disagree with them a lot of the time. And to me, that's okay. But it's really time to, if you find yourself disagreeing with them enough of the time, give us the clean resolution that they need and bring 4 of your friends along, and then go back and play politics if that's what you want. But
I think Fetterman is he's actually an old world Democrat. He'll never be a Republican because he's not a conservative, but he's not a leftist. He's just a liberal.
I don't know.
And he can agree and he can come to the middle, and he has some common sense.
I don't know
if that's what we're lacking in the Senate, I think, right now, in the House is common sense.
I don't know if I agree that he is stuck. I think I agree with a lot of people that he's stuck. He knows what to do, only because I found myself in the position of being a conservative Democrat when it was time to vote. And different people took me aside and said, you understand that a conservative Democrat is really a liberal Republican. And we can take you and teach you or move you or get you to understand, and you'll go where you need to move. I think John Fetterman is really like you said, middle of the road Republican. He can go either way on things, but you can't be a middle of the road Democrat anymore and go
toward the Republicans
at all, because they
don't allow it because they don't have that ability to have diverse ideas. It's just the party line, and that's it.
And he's trapped in an area that's that's what it is. But I think he's going to prove to them, I can be elected by Republicans just as easy, just as
Fetterman would have got
easily.
along real fine as a Democrat in the 1960s
Yeah.
because that's what they were then.
So why
The
doesn't
parties
he?
that I mean, we had two parties that could hash things out and come to a consensus. Now
Yeah.
everything has to be a compromise. And compromises don't work because one side has to lose for there to be a compromise.
And
When you have a
and Orrin,
consensus, you like red, I like green, and we agree on yellow.
and
We come to that point.
that's how Orrin Hatch, who was a Republican, and Ted Kennedy, who was a Democrat, but not a good person, they could, I guess, in theory, play that game. That one knew it was time to help the other one, and that's what they did. And a lot of stuff got passed, but now these people, no, AOC, you gotta do it this way. Bernie Sanders looks like he's had a facelift to to look to
Well, they
look
can
younger.
afford it, that communist.
I don't think Bernie Sanders will ever see the presidency. Whether or not the Democrats give him the vice presidency has yet to be seen because I don't
Nah, they
think,
gave him $29 million to drop out and let Hillary run.
and they'll probably give him money to step aside again, and he'll probably take it.
And he'll run just to get the money. He's not interested in the position.
Yeah,
He'll run just to get the money.
right. But
But
AOC, who's
AOC is
running,
going to clobber Schumer. She's
AOC
gonna
is
do
no
away with him in New York.
AOC is going to take his seat. I don't think there's a
I believe she is.
Republican. I don't think there is a Republican that can beat AOC running for Schumer's seat. But I think
Well, no, they're about to
AOC.
elect a communist as mayor of New York, so I'm sure they'll be happy to elect her as
I
senator.
think you're going to be very surprised that at the last minute, the Republicans are going to make it very clear we are not going to take Zohan Mamdani as our mayor of New York because he's too close to the governor's office. He's too close to telling Hokum what
I think Bonnie's
Hokum
getting
what to
ready to
do.
arrest him on finance. Guy, he's got that problem with foreign money that came in.
I hope they do it before he leaves and goes home to Uganda. I hear his wedding was moved from New York City to Uganda, or maybe it was always planned in Uganda, but there were cell phone blockers, there were security people carrying machine guns, and
Maybe Marco Rubio will let him leave the country and then pull his passport
I think
and
Marco
leave him there.
Rubio is going to do a lot of things that he won't be able to do once he is J.D. Vance's vice president. But I think he will make a hell of a vice president. I don't know if I see Rubio as ever becoming president. I don't think he can run and win. He might be close,
Well,
but
he's turned into one heck of a Secretary of State, though.
yeah,
I'm of all the people that Trump put in positions, I am the most impressed with him.
yeah,
I didn't think that he was the person that he turned out to be.
right.
I didn't see that.
I think he can bring that to the vice president's office and maybe get worked out a little bit more, modeled a little bit more, and he'll be a hell of a vice president, but I don't know about him as president yet. I don't know
Well,
really
he's
if
certainly
J.D.
young
Vance
enough to
is still the person.
go 4 years as Secretary of State, and he's young enough to go 8 years as Vice President, and still be young enough
Yep,
to move up.
yep,
So he's got that age advantage, and
yep.
with JD, there's a generational step down there that's important to our party. Both of those people have enough youth in them when you look at the age of our government today to be there long enough. I mean, if we could do 4 years of Vance and Rubio, 8 years would be wonderful, but 4 more years, I think that we would have pulled enough of the swamp water out of the swamp. You're never going to get rid of the swamp, but I guess the idea is to change it to our swamp.
Right.
That's a terrible concept, but
where do you see Barron Trump? You see Barron Trump entering politics? You see him going above a senator? Or you think he's
the mystery Trumper, isn't he? Huh? He's a mystery man in that family. I think he's probably the most intelligent of all the children.
Yeah.
I see him becoming a billionaire on his own.
Yeah.
He's already made quite a few millions of dollars with a couple of the plays that he's done. And I think he's very, 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 very appealing to his generation.
Yeah, I think
so.
I think you're right.
He's as appealing to his generation as John was to us.
Yeah.
You know, that little boy meant so much to America, and then Hillary goes and kills him so she can be the senator in New York. I think Barron has that appeal. I like to watch the videos of him. He's got this facial thing going on. He's very upright, straight walker, and then the man speaks more languages.
7. Melania taught him 7, I think, and his grandfather, her father, I understand, made sure he knew how to speak Slovenian, Slovakian, whatever, but he became how to do it. I think Melania programmed him right.
And she's managed to keep him out of. He gets just enough press to keep him interesting.
Yeah. But that, I think, goes back to the Jimmy Carter and Amy Carter situation, where he said it's not Amy's fault that she's living in the White House as the daughter of the president. I think Melania put her foot down and said he will not be raised in the White House. He will live in Trump Tower. He will live at Mar-a-Lago. He will go to NYC, but he is not going to be raised in the White House. And
well, just as far as physical places to be, certainly Trump Tower and Mar-a-Lago are much more interesting and ornate than the White House is.
That's very true. But then you have people who love the Rose Garden that I understand really wasn't being used and was converted to a ballroom that every president before Trump for 150 years wanted that conversion, but they couldn't find the money. But then again, he's a developer. He's gonna find the money.
But we didn't have a president. We didn't have a president that could afford to rock that, and now we have a president that can afford to. And so you can't give Trump soft money to influence him, but you can write a check for $5 million to help build the ballroom.
Yep.
And that's what people are doing. That's part of that gap on that.
And that's what I think people don't understand.
We're going to get a ballroom bigger than the White House.
Well, they don't understand that, you tell him that's what you want, he's going to do it. If you don't like all the gold that he brought into the White House, make sure he takes it with him when he leaves. I mean, some of the stuff is
change it. Do it yourself.
The jet from Qatar, I don't know. It's not his anyway. It belongs to the Air Force. And they can do whatever the hell they want with it. And they've said that when it is done, or when Trump is done, they will decommission it, send it to him in the library.
I don't think we're ever going to see that fly around here at all.
We're not ever going to see them spend all the millions of dollars that it's going to cost to convert that plane to an Air Force One. It's just going to sit on the ground where it is. And then, like I said, it belongs to the Air Force. They can do whatever the hell they want with it.
And they'll move it down to the Trump library
They're
after he's gone.
supposedly going to fly it down to, or move it down to the Trump library. And then once it's there, it will never actually ever fly again. And
you'll be able to go there and visit a real Air Force One. You'll be able to go in there and walk through it as a tourist, and it'll be a great attraction. And in the meantime, it embarrassed the snot out of Boeing, and they really decided they better get going on making those two that they.
Boeing has turned out to be an embarrassment. I mean, they ordered those planes that would be Air Force One years before. Well, Trump was in president. Trump was 45, I think,
when they ordered 8 years ago.
Yeah, he was 45. Yeah, he was the 45th president then, and I don't know if they were even going to be delivered while he was 45th president. So, but it was time to order 2 new ones, and that's what they did. And Boeing has turned out to be an embarrassment that they just keep changing things or can't get things. Things are on back order. I mean, come on. No.
Well, Boeing diversified, and they decided to have all these other manufacturers make things instead of them. That was, in my opinion, again, that was just a really dumb move.
Yeah.
They used to be very vertically and very horizontally integrated. They controlled everything to do with their planes, and they never had the embarrassments like the 737s with all the problems they've had with those planes. Everything that's broken on one of those planes has been a part that was made by someone else that they didn't control the manufacturer. That was just my opinion. Some things really need to be monopolized within the company.
Yeah. I don't know who picks up the slack and becomes the next original Boeing, but I mean, airlines use them here, airlines use them around the world, and I don't know what's going to happen to them. I really don't. But to be given a plane that would cost us millions and millions of dollars to convert, and then millions and millions of dollars to deconvert, and then be given away because the Air Force has the authority to give it away, there seems to be a little bit of a waste. I mean, if they wanted to give it to him directly, they should have waited, I guess, until his term was up and then just gave it to him.
Again, I think it was a distraction, and if you seriously look at the fact where it came from, that would be no different than someone giving you a used Subaru.
Yeah.
As far as that country is concerned, that didn't cost them any more money than a used Subaru to the average person.
It didn't cost them.
It wasn't about the only people that made that valuable and expensive and worth all its money was the press.
Yeah.
Because it didn't affect the bottom line of Qatar at all.
Right. And maybe
they weren't even using that plane anymore. That plane was just sitting around doing nothing over there.
Right.
So they got a whole bunch of press, and now they have a whole bunch of the Air Force people going to come over here and learn how to fly new jets.
Yeah.
And we don't know, but maybe that deal was made with the whole deal with the plane. You give me this distraction with this plane, and a year from now, I'll let you send over 300 people to learn how to fly F-35. And Trump gets this big distraction. And I'm always amazed at the way he does things. Anytime something strange like that happens, I start paying a whole lot of attention to what's going on around that.
Yeah.
Because Trump causes these distractions, and then he does really outrageous things. He's got a shutdown going on in the government. And what does he do? He goes over and he solves a centuries old problem in the Middle East.
Yep. Yep.
Well, it's no big deal. When he was done with that, he flew over to Egypt and got all those other guys from the other countries to sign a piece of paper that says they're going to have a cooperative peace treaty, economic development deal. And
It just strikes me kind of odd that the United States of America flew over and told all these other countries this is going to go down and it's going to go down this way. And then he flew to Hamas in Israel and told them it's going to go down this way. I mean, maybe you're going to do whatever you're doing right now because you're free to do whatever you're doing right now, but get it out of your system because when we come over there, it's not going to happen anymore. And I would think that Hamas, who returned dead hostages, doesn't want to be caught in that position again.
so that's
And I think more than just the United States will be involved in that if they do. Maybe
well,
I'm
his
wrong.
unpredictability and his willingness to use the full force necessary.
Yeah.
When he said we're going to do away with the nuclear threat, at least temporarily, in Iran, and Iran said, "Oh no, you're not. We're big and bad." And then Israel decided to soften up all the entrances, and then instead of sending a couple little things in there or a few missiles to take stuff out, he sends in $500 billion worth of B-2s.
Yeah.
And in 20 minutes, the threat disappears for, well, as long as he's going to be president, it ain't going to be a threat. And that was the important part of that for him. And he said to the rest of the world, FAFO.
Yeah.
And they found out. And a whole lot of those other people, that's what that crew respect, power and the willingness to use it. And that laid the groundwork for Hamas and has Yemen's looking to get waxed pretty hard pretty soon, I think, too. They still want to send drones over, and
No.
with everybody else out of the way, Israel and the United States and quite possibly Great Britain and France
What we don't
are
hear,
going to take care of that problem.
what we don't hear anything from is China. What are they thinking during all of this? Because this goes against every grain of what China wanted to do with the world. Are they?
We don't hear a whole lot anymore about their what was that road and something initiative, where they would come in and like help a third world country build a nice port and let them borrow the money, and then of course when they can't pay the credit card, the Chinese would come in and take over the port that they built. Yeah. You don't hear a lot about that program anymore. I think China is really, really, really having a big battle keeping their economy rolling.
Yeah.
They've lost a ton of business. I think the tariffs hurt them worse. When they had to get down to the point of saying that we're not going to sell the rest of the world rare earth, processed rare earth, and that's very profitable for them. Nobody else wants to process the rare earth. Everybody's got the mineral. They just don't want to process the stuff because of the amount of pollution that comes out of it.
Yeah.
And when they have to get down to using that as a weapon, I really think they have problems in the Chinese economy that just doesn't show yet.
Yeah. They're hiding it pretty well if they have it. They are.
Well, their biggest real estate companies over there are flipped over. All of their properties are underwater. Every property owes more money than its value. All those big apartment buildings that they were building outside of Beijing are they sold them, and before they built them, and they don't have the money they took to build them. They don't have the money anymore. Somewhere along the line, someone's going to pay for that. You don't think that country could change with a revolution, but boy, I don't care how powerful you are. If you get a billion people decide to turn their back on you, you have a big void.
Yeah. Or you get a government that decides to flip.
Yeah.
I just don't know. What else do you got today, Phil?
Mm-hmm.
What else do you have today? What else do we want to discuss?
Oh, you and I do a pretty good job of going around the world with our discussions.
We do.
We started with a little monetary stuff and shut down, and we ended up with China.
Well, maybe we need to shut down China and take over their money. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't have much of an idea aside from the Schumer shutdown and its alternatives to what we would do when I put this together. I can't do next Saturday because I will be at a vendor fair with my wife, Donna, and we won't be able to be on next Sunday. We are usually on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8:30 a.m. in the morning, and I know it's tough for people, so just watch it whenever you can right now. And then if there's a major happening, we still have Tuesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. that we can do. But I don't know. Still haven't found the best time for maximum people. And I'm sure one day we will, if God is willing. But that is what we do. We're here on my profile on Facebook. We're here on Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And we're always looking for wherever else we can be. But anyway, Philip is one of my favorites. He spends a good amount of time as an admin of We Need Patriots. And did I give you any more? Or is it just We Need Patriots?
Oh, I'm did that other Donald Trump one you're on with me.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
administrator with them.
Yep.
There's a few others that I'm not very active with. I pay attention mostly to.
You pay attention, and that's all you need to do. That's all you need
Yeah.
to do. I tell people every day, don't go crazy over a group or a page. Just spend enough time to keep an eye on it so that people know you're doing.
Yeah, and right now, my whole family, we're all gearing up towards. It's time to start bell ringing with the and the angel tree with Salvation Army.
Yep.
I hope people will contribute to that, because when you got a bell ringer out there, the money you put in that kettle goes to that local Salvation Army.
Good.
And that money, when you donate to corporate, that money doesn't come down very easily.
No.
Like any other organization,
Yeah.
So this is a big time of year. This is how we fund a lot of our stuff. We're getting ready to do our Thanksgiving thing. My core over here will give away about 200 Thanksgiving dinners for families.
Good.
Which is that's a pretty big. That's a big roll. You got a couple hundred turkeys and all the canned goods and all the other stuff. So that's what I do at this time of year.
Good. And everybody should do that with their community too. Reminds me of a funny story when we were living in Connecticut. We went to pick up our turkey and our ham, and a lady had ordered a 25-pound, I think, turkey and came in to pick it up, but it had sat there too long that they gave it to the local police department with a bunch of other birds that they were giving away. And I assume she got another turkey to make up for it. But I would imagine that 25 pound of turkey fed a bunch of people, a lot of people. I
Well,
hope.
last year we bought a bunch of turkeys because Publix had that deal where they were like, I don't know, a few cents a pound.
Yep.
Uh, my daughter and I went in and we bought two birds that were over 30 pounds. They were humongous turkeys,
Oh
and
God.
didn't pay $20 a bird.
No. No.
Now we cooked one of those and we ate turkey until we were sick of turkey.
Turkey soup, turkey. I don't know what else you can do with a turkey besides.
Well, our dogs think turkey is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, of course they do. And they'll eat it every day. And they'll probably love you for feeding that. Anything else you got to say before we call this quits? Coming up on an hour.
No, I was just looking at the time thinking I've got some stuff I got to get rocking on.
All right.
It's about to change the dogs out and let the birds and the goats run in the yard.
Yeah. All right, Phil. It has been a pleasure having you on, and maybe we'll get more people involved and have a bunch of us on. But anyway, I enjoyed the time we spent together doing this.
All right, you be blessed this week, my friend.
I will be blessed. Thank you. All right, Philip. Let's see. For me to do it, I feel so bad about doing it every time. The popping of parachutes, but I'm doing so well, so I guess I'll do it. You ready?
Yep.
You got your parachute on? All right. Philip Marshall from We Need Patriots and a bunch of other groups that we have on Facebook. I'm in so many groups that I don't even know all the groups that I'm in. There's nothing worse than opening up a group on Facebook and posting a bunch of things and finding out that you're an admin in that group or a moderator in that group. But no, we have a bunch of groups, and I'm sure people are reading them. Like I said, We Need Patriots, Red Patriots for America, the Red MAGA Nation, Boogie with the Bull Uncensored, one of my favorites, only because that's my group. It's been around for 17 years on Facebook, one way or another. Everything is welcome in that group. It doesn't have to be political. It can be classic cars. It can be good music. It can be anything you can think of. You tell people to post anything you can think of in that group. And we all just try to have a good day with it or a good time with it every day. Anyway, 53 minutes after the hour, or 53 minutes into the hour, I guess we should say. Going to do it one more time and tell you Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8:30 a.m. on Fridays. We call it Red Friday Morning Caffeine, and we celebrate the men and women of the United States military, right now ICE, right now the National Guard, right now state and local law enforcement, and even first responders too, because yes, you're important on what you do. And we celebrate the families of those people as well. So if you are a family and you want to celebrate your loved one, you are more than welcome to join me on the broadcast and take as much time as you need. Otherwise, we go into politics, news of the day, everything America, and a generous helping of whatever comes out of our mouths, because we honestly don't know. So you did get to see the mistake I made this morning where I hit the go live button and we were actually live. You won't see it on Facebook. You have to go over to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and look for it, only because I haven't learned how to delete stuff from YouTube yet. So you can go over there and see it over there, and then you can watch the broadcast over there, and you can subscribe to the channel, because one of these days that's where everything is going to be of the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. We just haven't figured out which day it's going to be. Anyway, I enjoy doing what I do. Enjoy bringing other people in to help out Philip and Ray Fagans has joined us. You know him as Brother Ray from the Patriots Lab Network. Comes in every once in a while. William Lockett will come in when he has time. Randy Rhodes will come in when he has time. And anybody who has time, you're more than welcome to come in. And it doesn't have to be politics. Where I am right now in life is give me an idea and we'll do your idea. And we'll have fun. People that are musicians, another word I get stuck on, come in with your original music because I don't want to battle your record companies. So bring in your own original music and take part with us. Matter of fact, we are looking for ending music. We have really good intro music. Really good intro that Jerry Michaels from the American Rebellion, you have seen him before, set it up because he heard on a broadcast that I was on one day. I don't have one. I really wish I did. And he made a fantastic one that you see all the time. The American Rebellion is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And they talk about anything and everything. And you will learn if you watch. And if you don't learn, maybe you become part of the broadcast and bring in something that you'll learn. I don't really know. Also pay attention to Michael Anthony, who right now is paying attention to climate control and chemtrails because they're rearing their ugly faces again, and you should have a chance to learn. I'm trying to think anybody else. If you know of anybody else watching about Jim Price, the Jim Price Daily Update, Jim Price Show Daily Update. Make sure you watch him. You will learn. You will laugh. You will cry. You will laugh and cry. You'll just have a good time. So pay attention. There wasn't a show Friday, so look for him on Monday. Let's see, the American Rebellion, Jim Price, Michael, Randy Rhodes, as I said, all roads lead to home genealogy. That's Rhodes, Rhodes. You will learn stuff about your family and you that you probably didn't know. You'll have a good time, a great time learning stuff. And maybe not, but I think you will. You won't pay nearly what you pay someone else who will call themselves a professional to do it, because you'll deal with a professional named Randy Rhodes, and he's not going to charge you what everybody else charges. So watch Randy and his broadcast. Theodore John Fitzgerald is watching. Theodore John Fitzgerald is watching. I apologize for catching you late, but I went to answer my phone the other day, and I knocked this laptop over, and I broke the, tripod that holds it up. So I have to put it in another case. Anyway, I'm going to give my wife, Donna, the craft room back, as I promised, 1 hour into the program. So I'm going to do that right now, because my wife, Donna, makes the most fantastic crocheted items you will ever see. And I didn't bring Cupcake and his friend with me into this room. It's an eagle, but it looks like a cupcake. So I called the first one Cupcake, and I haven't named the other one. You'll see that. But go to the Family Treasures Facebook page. The picture that you want to look for, because I believe there's more than one, is a chicken that is checkered. That's the easiest way to describe it, unless they changed the picture. But go to the Family Treasures Facebook page take a look around, see what is available. If you don't find anything that you want, but you need something made, leave them a message for Donna that tells her what you are looking for. And I'm sure, hold on, trying to drink coffee at the same time, you will find something, whether it is custom made for you or you will find something they have in stock, and or at a vendor fair that they will be at in the very near future. Anyway, I'm getting tongue tied on words, and we are 2 minutes into 1 hour, so we're going to wrap this one up. Double V is for victory, that this is going to come to an end, this time the right way. We will end there. We'll come over